Let me tell you my story. Not unique or impressive, but cautionary. Stay safe out there. If you ride the elevator down to the trash when you're working in the city, I'll drop it in the replies. Be me, last year, working my usual shift as an overnight cleaner, working at a mall this time. Easy cash. I was a bit of a night crawler before anyway, so this is a win, and it works for my hours. Easy shift. Mop shitty fake marble floors, collect trash bags from cans, get to listen to whatever I want. No supervision, just do my job and get the fuck out. Only problem is since I'm cleaning a building with so many windows with residential above it, I have to work in the pitch black. Toss bag after bag in the cart and roll it around the building to the staff area and over to the old freight elevators. Building was built around some older brick buildings during a revitalization effort, or some shit I'm told. Walking in and I slide my phone into my right chest pocket with my flashlight on. Important, promise, fuck off. Gate doesn't close properly and have to pull it closed. Floodlights are all that's up here. Starting to feel like something just stepped on my heart as I descend down to the sub-levels where the compactors are. When I reach my level, they have some service lights on, much better. Take some of the edge off. Step out of the elevator. Look around and I'm hit by a blast of freezing cold air. I'm talking about low 20 degrees, maybe lower. Feel my bones in my fingers after a couple of seconds. It's the middle of August. Freak the fuck out. But not getting paid to be a bitch, so I go back to the elevator and grab my cart. Start hauling it over to the compactor. When I'm done, we're supposed to leave our carts by the compactor for the morning crews to haul up and prepare for the day. None of the other cleaning guys' carts are there, so I suck it up and light up. Come to where the flavor is. .jpg. Cough like a bitch. Fucking hate smoking, but grew up with grandparents, avid smokers. Makes me feel like home. Not this time though. Freezing my balls off, listening to some Margaritaville. Would rather be anywhere else than be some wagey, working this shit show. Get that feeling in my chest again, like something is sucking up all the blood in my body. Feel like my heart is pounding a million times a minute, but no blood is coming through when I take a look around. Still, nobody else. Their cart should be here by now. It's 2:27. Normally, we're all finished by 2:30. Get off my ass. Feel like I just got hit with a truck when I toss my cig into the trash cart and grab the broom off of it. Walk towards some swinging doors across the room. Never been through them. Always take the elevator back up. Guys always said it just leads to a network of service passages connecting the mall and the apartments. Fuck it, why not? Might as well find my bros. Better than to die of boredom in the trash room. Open the doors and see attached photo. Sent it to my brothers to make a corny joke about ghosts. Take my headphones off and start walking down. Freezing like a stream piss in Alaska. It gets colder the more I go on. Calling for my guys now, wondering where the fuck they went. Supposed to check in at the compactors before we clock off. Prevents any legal shit should some dumbass get lost or trapped. And lets the rest start a quick search. Just a constant buzz of service lights above me. No matter how hard I shout for my coworkers. Nobody's fucking here. Not a soul. Except for me. Keep wandering the service tunnels for a bit. Nothing. Nobody. Just me and the cold. Then I hear it and the cold goes. Shuffling. Nah, not shuffling. Scraping. Like something is being dragged. Heaving too. Run towards. See nothing, but the scraping gets closer. Sounds like somebody sliding across asphalt after getting in a crash. Just a completely deafening sound of scraping. Sounds like flesh is tearing. Nails and bones breaking. Buzz my head a bit. Lights hurt my eyes like somebody's grabbing them when I feel the pain in my chest worsen. Feels like I'm gonna die when the scraping reaches its loudest before I turn and trip like a total fat fuck. Take a spill and scramble to stand up while whatever the scraping was turns into a constant screaming. Sounds like it's whistling through the air around me. Accidentally managed to slam into the corridor wall while trying to get my bearings, break my right hand in the process, and start dashing back to the compactor room. Fuck my co-workers. Too broke to die, too broke to live. Sounds like the depths of hell have opened up behind me. Don't look back as I make a dash through the halls. Everything seems so loopy. Now since I lost my sense of direction, taking a hit to the head while I tried to run. The scraping sound continues, like they're tearing apart my own body, as I make turn after turn navigating my way through the tunnels under the mall. Constant what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Feel like I'm lost until it hits me again. The cold. Holy shit, am I glad to be back in this shit world. Turn the corner into the main tunnel to the swinging doors and the compactor room. Almost home free. Whatever the fuck is making that primal noise is still behind me. Not so close since it lagged behind me in the corridors, but whatever I gained, I'm losing as it starts sounding closer all over again. Not a sound of footsteps, but a gliding slide of flesh. Left hand tightens all the way around my broom now, scarlet fisted as I bash through the double doors into the compactor room. slide my broom in between the handles, and turn back to see the machines, whirring and answering to the wounds of rending flesh like a louder and stronger god. My crew is there, waiting for me. How the fuck? They look at me like I just broke out of a mech correct and snuck my way through the tunnels back to civilization. Nobody believes me. It was apparently 3:43 when I came back. Nobody came looking for me. We all hustle into the elevator and they walk me back to my car. We agreed to never talk about it again. Our team got reassigned the next shift to a new location. Every time they're late, I'm afraid it'll happen again, bros. Am I losing my mind? Or was there something beneath Chicago? I'm interested, but the noise just randomly started? Not clear on that part. Do you have any more pics? Started like a response to me shouting like a fuckhead. I don't know what it was. Could be some crackhead that broke in for all I know. I called out. That answered. Let me add a pic to the workers area near the compactor so you get an idea of the type of shit I was navigating. So, can you help me understand why you can't use more lights? Because the upper floors are residential? The mall is only on the ground floor, and the next 2 levels of the complex, with the rest being attached to the apartment building above it. Let me send a pic. Basically, if we had most of the lights on that late at the night, it'd be a bother to the residents. What are the cross streets? Used to live in the city for a time, and this looks familiar. Wouldn't be surprised if I was at this mall at some point then. Roosevelt to south, and Wells to the west. Oh fuck. I used to live close to there. Yeah, in the South Loop on Prairie Avenue. I've been to that mall several times. They built up the whole area sometime in the early 2010s. Never really got a spooky vibe, but it's mostly just an outdoor mall. Yeah, it's not bad. Imagine it could be a nice place to live, I guess. But working? I've seen lots of arrests and shit and hooligans hanging around after hours. But that's most places in the city anyway. But yeah, beneath it's a maze, man, with all those service corridors. Bewagey call center worker, doing night shift for the first time. Office basically empty. Just me and my supervisor. Around 2 a.m, need to use the bathroom. Supervisor says we can close the line for a bit. He goes outside to smoke. I go take a piss. Office is quiet, just a hum of machines and the ceiling lights buzzing. Finish up my pee-pee. Washing hands. Hear something outside the bathroom door, like people talking. Lots of them. Laughter, chairs being moved, keyboards clicking. Sounds like a busy workday. Creep to the bathroom door, open it slowly, look out of the hallway. It's empty, and no noise whatsoever. Close door and wait. Around 30 seconds the noises come back and are louder, like the whole office is bustling with life. Even hear the sound of the coffee machine being used. Open the door again, step into the hallway. The noises stop immediately, like someone flipped a switch. Look around. Nothing. Head back to my desk. Supervisor gets back and I explained what happened. Oh yeah, no, that happens once in a while. LOL. What the fuck? It never happened to me again, but apparently everyone that's done the night shift has reported this happening and everyone just accepts it. Be me, night shift at gas station at previous wagey job. Weird shit happens sometimes, crackheads in general. Had a few paranormal things happen. Crackhead walks in. New crackhead, never seen this crackhead before, but know it's a crackhead. Has the attic twitch and the scratch. Looks paranoid. Starts speaking in crazy babble. He's here. The guy yells. Gets the fuck out of the store and books it down the street. Okay, that was weird. Looks towards door of cooler section. GIF related. See a literal fucking shadow demon inside of cooler. Door entrance is glass. Blink. It's gone. Power browns out a few times after that. It's not windy, it's a clear night. Heard some knocks. Did not bother going into the cooler that night. Get shit from my boss for not stalking. Play it off as not feeling good. First time I didn't do it. Yeah, lol. Be me, 24-year-old third shift embalmer for embalming trade service. Did the work other funeral homes didn't feel like doing. Autopsies, car wrecks, organ donors, most messed up stuff ever could explain if you want, and children which are pertinent to the story. Work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. but most days much more. Small company, only 3 other guys, plus the owner to cover all of central Illinois. Work a lot since you can't leave dead people for too long, and when the call comes we had to go. Often worked long shifts, 20 plus hours were typical. Didn't sleep much or at all for days at a time. One night had to go get more embalming fluid, which was up in a storage compartment in the attic of the old funeral home. On hour 20 plus for the day, tired as hell. Slowly walking up the steps with my head down. Glance up and freeze. A boy is standing at the top of the steps. Nearly fall back but catch myself on rail. Look back. Boy is gone. Decide to make coffee instead and wait for colleague to return from call. Chalk it up to sleep deprivation. Tell colleague about it. He says he's seen him too. Hated having to get more fluid at that place. Here's more. Busy day as always. Prep room of main facility has 3 embalming tables. Using all 3 tables to embalm 3 people at the same time. I'm a very good embalmer. Probably one of the best in the state. Never counted, but I've probably embalmed over 10,000 people since I began over a decade ago. Used to jumping back and forth between people. One guy is a scraggly old man in his 70s. Family asked that I didn't take his pendant off, and some sort of Catholic saint. Not wanting to get blood and nasty fluid all over it, I just took it off and began embalming him. Jump to other person. Pendant guy is behind me. Few seconds later, I hear a growl of sorts from directly behind me. Sometimes the dead expel gases, or air trapped in their lungs when they're pumped full of embalming fluid. I look back, and his head is tilted towards me and his eyes are open. The barred eye caps we put in their eyes to keep them closed are on his chest. Freaked the hell out. Think it's just my long hours and perhaps I forgot to close his eyes with the caps. Adjust him back, drain out clotted blood, and go back to embalming the other 2. Same growl as before. I nearly pissed myself when I turn around to see his head tilted toward me again, both eyes open, but the caps still in. To hell with it, I put the pendant back on him. It gets covered in blood, but oh well, he never does it again after that. I could go all night with these. Get a house call around 2 a.m. The descendant is a diminutive woman in her 30s. She's got that disease where you look like a child. She's no more than 3 feet tall. Family obviously loves the hell out of her. Everyone very upset at her passing. They tell me she was a prankster and loved playing jokes on people. Seemed like a special kind of person despite her disease. Every house call I took my guy Jay with me. Jay was in his 70s, Vietnam vet. Lovable but stern God-fearing brother in Christ. Solid dude, was still helping me carry 300-pound people up flights of stairs. The man was tough as nails. We get the little lady back to the funeral home, get her prepped for embalming. Jay always says a little prayer before we move the body. As he prays, the old boombox from the 80s clicks on at full blast. It's the type you had to flip a big switch up to turn on, and it makes an audible click when it does. We hear that click, and Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World blasts through the radio. We both look at each other like, what the fuck? I turn off the stereo. We lift the little lady onto the embalming table, and the radio clicks on again. Jay says, Anon, have a good night, and beelines for the door. Nothing else happened while I embalmed her. Could never explain that, and Jay never mentioned it again. Be at it again. Embalming an old woman in her 70s. Pink stripe through white spiky-like haircut. Huge fake saggy tits. Look like grapefruits hanging in old gym socks. Fucked up tattoos of naked devil pinup girls and slut right above her vag, among other things. Had on hot pink trimmed leopard print panties. Nipples and vag lips pierced. Obviously a fun granny. When you're embalmed, you get rock solid. And I mean you cannot move a limb out of the position it was embalmed in. Set slutty granny's elbows on the blocks with hands clasped at her midsection. Walk past her to get supplies, and her hand swings off the elbow blocks and smacks me in the butt. Figure I hadn't set her arms right. Position her once again. Grab some fluids in my instrument, walk past and whap. Once again she slaps my ass. Cheeky old broad. Position her again. Happens one more time. And I swear, she smiled a little. I was molested by a dead woman. I definitely would have hit it in life, but I came close to screwing my first dead body that night. Couple years ago in Syracuse, New York, I was working night shift on a shitty floor in a hospital. A floor where multiple people have died over the years. Possibly many. It's an old hospital. Side note. You can tell when the hospital floor is new or old. The flooring smells and the cleanliness gives it away. This was an old, neglected, dirty floor that had not been renovated in ages. At night sometimes we would turn the lights out in the hallways so it was semi-lit, with lots of shadows. Occasionally parents with dementia would yell out for loved ones who weren't there. This is normal. So one night we were chilling at the nurse's station that sits in front of 4 elevators flanked by patient room hallways. Around midnight, a couple elevators randomly opened with no one going in or out of them in the dark. Charge nurse, who was a young black lady, stood up. Okay, no, someone go turn the lights back on. Someone gave her some lip. I think another lady nurse. And charge girl said, no, go turn them on. They turned the lights back on and the elevator stopped opening randomly. Granted, there are many explanations for this, but we assume that at least one of the elevators was haunted. The desert in general is a weird ass place, especially at night. Got a story from when I worked at a shitty discount retail store. Be me, 19. Work nights, straightening shelves and helping out with furniture orders during the last few hours the store is open. It was a pretty busy night, but things slowed down. Just putting back stuff that was left at registers, finish up a cart full of stuff, and go for another one. Decided to talk to cashier for a bit to kill a few minutes. As we're talking, the automatic door's open, but I don't see anyone going through it. Huh? Assume a stray cat walked by and triggered the sensor. Go back to talking. 5 or 10 minutes pass, and it happens again. What? Radio manager let her know the door is acting up. Alright, we'll get someone out to look at it soon. Grab another cart, start putting stuff back and straightening up shelves. 9 PM rolls around, closing time. Go up to the front door, the locked door, after having the cashier make an announcement to pull any customers to leave. Do a quick patrol of the store. Don't see anyone. As I'm walking past toys, I hear something hit the floor, loud as hell. Peek head into the aisle and see a large and terribly cheap toy robot thing fall, and is on the floor in pieces. Pick everything up and go to take it to the front to be logged as damage. As I start walking, I hear something else and another aisle fall. What in the fuck? .png? Loop back to where I heard the noise. Find a large can of Hominy has fallen and is leaking. Pick it up and make a note to start here when I go get the mop. Go up to the front with damaged goods. Cashier takes care of these for me. Hear the automatic door motor try to operate, even though it's locked. We both look at it. Hear it start to groan. Look at each other very confused. Go through the rest of my closing duties. Occasionally hearing small sounds like stuff moving or extra footsteps while I'm walking. Feel very uncomfortable for the remainder of the shift. All the remaining crew, myself, one other employee, and the closing manager meet at the front to make sure we clock out and leave together. About fucking time, .gif. As we're clocking out and taking care of the small things, we talk about weird stuff tonight. The cashier left about half an hour ago, so I'm hearing from another floor crew person and the manager. Manager says she saw stuff fall out of the shelves while she was doing the final counts. Other employee heard noises from the woman's bathroom while she was cleaning the men's room. I mentioned the stuff I heard move and fall, the steps and all that. We all sort of just shrug and go to leave. Manager triggers the alarm, locks up the door behind us. We're all hanging around the front for a few, as we usually do. I light a smoke. The moment everyone is out of the store just hanging around, we hear a loud crash from inside. The face when a whole set of shelves that makes up the aisle collapses. The face when I just sorted out all of that product about 45 minutes ago. We all look at each other and say nothing. Next day boss comes in and find a whole aisle collapsed on the floor. Check cameras. Cannot figure out what did it. Never had anything like that happen at the store again. There was a lot of weird stuff at that store, but this was the only major event nobody could explain.